Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'll start today's video with a question, posing a question, and after I pose the question, then you can, pause the video for a few seconds to reflect upon it. And my question to you is that has it ever happened to you that there was an item in your possession, like your phone, your car, your bike, and you thought that you cannot live a single day without that item, but suddenly something happened with that uh, thing. Maybe the phone got snatched away, which is very common in Karachi, or the car broke down, or you, God forbid, met an accident. Okay, so you could not use your bike or car, and then you had to live without that item for a couple of days. So you can pause the video and then you can reflect upon whether it has happened with you or not. So I'm sure all of you would agree that it has happened to you at some point of time. And with this conclusion, now we can realize that there are many things in our life which we think are important, but when it comes to it, they are not so important. Okay, you can live without them. Okay, and as I said, there are many things in our life which are not so important, but which seems to us that they are important. So how do we get to those things? Okay, how do we come to a point where we have these things around us and we feel that we cannot live without them? There can be many reasons, and I will highlight some of them. One reason is, and I will give that reason with a famous quote, and the quotation is, you may have heard the phrase, give me an offer which I cannot reject, which I cannot refuse. Now, if you hear that quotation, that phrase, it would seem like I'm talking about an offer which includes a lot of things, a lot of items, or the price to a very, very unrealistically low level. But in fact, in reality, the offer which we are looking for is just 20 to 30% lower than what would have been in normal cases. Okay, and this happens on daily basis with us. Okay, so you hear about a sale, in which they are offering maybe 20% low prices, and you would see that many people go there to avail that offer. Okay, and they will be buying things which they did not need before the sale was announced. And maybe it may be clothes or phone or car or any other item. So we buy things, if we feel that we are getting benefit out of it, monetary benefit or any other type of benefit, even by a very small amount. Okay, and I will share one of my experiences. A few years ago, when the tablets were not so common, so we had heard about an offer from a new company. Nobody knew about the name of the company, and we heard about that offer. And I was doing my PhD. I had some other students, other friends who were doing their graduate studies with me, and many of them bought the tablet, okay, which was available at a very low price. Okay, and one of my friends said very bluntly that at this price I will buy it even if it works for only 1 month. Okay, so obviously we don't need that. We didn't need that tablet at that time, and that's why we are not thinking about whether it will work for 2 months or 3 months or 6 months or whatever its durability is. Okay, so this is one of the reasons that we go for things even we don't need it, if we feel, mark my words, if we feel that it will give us a little bit of benefit than normal cases, an additional benefit. Okay, if we feel like it. Okay, and then the whole discussion about marketing comes to play, that in some cases it's not even an additional benefit. It's just, they are just manipulating with you. Okay, so this is one of the reason that you feel that you have an additional benefit and you take a thing which you don't need. Okay, so that's an offer which you cannot refuse. Okay, this is one of the things. Secondly, we look at other people. Okay, and we, whether you call it jealousy or inspiration, motivation, whatever you call it, okay, we look at them and we feel, again, we think that they are better than us in any particular aspect, and then we go after the things which they have. Okay, whether it's a car or a house or a spouse, okay, which could be dangerous. But until we meet that person, we don't realize that we are lacking in something. Okay. So this is another reason, big reason. And with the advent of social media, and it is becoming a commonplace, this has increased, because now you cannot avoid looking at other people. Okay, and whatever they have, they're advertising for it. Okay, they are promoting it, whatever they have. Okay, openly, you cannot avoid it. So this is another reason we look at someone else. In some cases, we don't meet anybody who we feel that it's better than us. We don't see anything which an additional advantage, but we hear someone talking about something which could happen in your life, which could have happened in your life. Okay, then we have these motivational speakers. Okay, and they are doing a good job. I'm not against them, but in some cases they can direct you to something which you didn't feel you needed. Okay, let me give an example, a very extreme example. Yeah, I will give you a very extreme example just to prove the point. Let's say you are the CEO of Google, okay, or any other big tech company. Okay, so you are the CEO, you're the highly paid individual in the whole world. Okay, you have your future secured. Okay, even if they let you out of the job, if they fire you, you have the house, you have investments to sustain you till you die, even for your kids as well. So everything is secured and planned, and everybody knows you are at the peak of your fame. Okay, and you have, like, in terms of worldly possessions, you have everything which 99% of the people in this world will dream of. But somebody may come and say, still a job, why are you still doing a job? You are a slave, you should be doing a business. Okay, and then it may, so before that person came to you and said this, you didn't realize because you were busy with accumulating everything which you can. Okay, so there's another thing, that somebody may direct you towards that higher aspiration which you did not realize. Okay, somebody may say you are renting a place, it's a good place but still on rent. Why don't you look for buying your own house? Okay, and you have already lived like 50-60 years in rented place, you never felt that you are missing on something. Okay, or why are you on a bike, and you should have a car or something. Okay, or why are you dressed like this? Okay, you should have like a makeover of your wardrobe or something like this. Okay, so in some cases you don't feel like it, you don't see anybody who is doing, but somebody comes and makes you realize that if you do this thing, you will get to a higher position in your life, or people will look up to you, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are some of the reasons by which you strive for something which you may not need, may not require. Okay, so, and whether you are doing it for a good reason or for a bad reason, you then start your struggle and you strive for it and you go for it, and the whole cycle may repeat several times. You achieve something and then you look for something else. Okay, and so on and so forth. and I'm not against it. If people are not striving for what they like or what they desire, then the whole business of this world will come to a complete stop. But you need to realize that there is a time where you need to prioritize, where you need to say no. Okay, we most often refuse people, deny people, defy them, but we cannot resist the temptation to have more things, to have more assets. So we can defy people, but we cannot defy things. Okay, this is a problem. So contentment comes. Okay, true contentment comes, and this is my opinion. You can, you don't have to agree with it completely. Contentment comes when at some point you can control your temptation and you can say no, I don't need it, whatever it is. Okay, it happens. I don't need it. Okay, so when you go after one thing, basically you are doing this. Okay, you are saying no to other things, you are deprioritizing other things, so you are doing this. But can you say no to that thing which you are running after? Okay, so there should be some level, maybe it's whatever level it is, it's different for everybody, but there's a level, there should be a level at which you would say no, I don't need it. Okay, whatever I have, the car, the house, the spouse, the kids, the education, whatever I have, this is enough for me. Okay, and the external factors which I've just mentioned, and there can be others as well, and then they don't influence your choice. This is the point where you will achieve true contentment. Okay, until you keep on getting influenced by external factors, you will keep on running after one thing and the other. Okay, so the thing which you need truly, okay, nobody needs to show you or tell you that you need it. Okay, like when you are hungry, nobody needs to tell you that you are hungry, you just know. Okay, a person who is born a leader, nobody needs to tell him that you should go and become a leader. Okay, he will feel inside that if I'm working for someone else, I'm doing something wrong with myself. Okay, and similarly, the person who is doing a job, if he is satisfied with it, let him be. Okay, we need people, okay, like that as well. Okay, now let me give you another perspective, like the complete reverse of that, from the life of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, so one day Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was hungry, and most of you would know that there were many days, like months, when in his house there was nothing being cooked. Okay, so one day he was hungry and he came out, and he was, just walking around, and angel, Jibril alayhi salam came, and he told him that there is this angel and with me, and Allah has asked me to ask you if you want the whole mountain of Uhud to be made of gold, and then it will, be with you forever, and you can spend it however you want. And at that time he said no. At that time he said no, that I'm happy, that I'm, eating one day, and I'm hungry the other day, I'm, starving the other day. So when I'm eating, I be grateful to Allah. When I'm starving, I'll be patient. Okay, so this is, another extreme example. Okay, so let me go back to the points which I mentioned earlier. Okay, so I started with something which you need. Okay, something which you feel you need, you cannot live without it. Okay, so the only thing without which you will not live a happy life are good deeds. Okay, because the only thing which is inevitable in our life is death. The only inevitable reality of our life is death. You're bound to die, and whenever you die, then you cannot survive without good deeds. By survive, I mean survive in a good manner. Okay, because after that, nothing else matters. Okay, then the second example I gave was the offer you cannot refuse. So Allah has made an offer which you should not refuse, because He's giving you everything. The least of it, what he is offering, the least of it is you get to paradise, and then you have 10 times the possessions of this world, 10 times the amount of this world. Okay, so this is an offer we should not refuse. Okay, but we do not see it, so we don't pay attention to it. Okay, then you look at something, someone else, and then you desire. So Allah has given many examples and many stories in the in Quran, in which He has mentioned people from the previous generations, the prophets, okay, and even the evil people, Pharaoh and Qarun and whatever, all those people. So He has given examples, so we know what we are missing on and what we should strive for. Okay. So He has mentioned that if you go to paradise, you will get this, 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 this. Okay, the vines and the gardens and the, the whole package. Okay, so He has mentioned everything, the hur and everything. So this is an offer we should not refuse. Okay, and again He has given us examples that there are people who will get this. Okay, and whatever He's telling us is the truth. Okay, we have to we do believe that. So this is what we should be following, who we should be following. Okay, the prophets and the righteous people about which Allah has told us in the Quran. Okay, and then striving for something higher, okay, which may benefit you later on. So I've already given the example of the Prophet ﷺ, and there are many other examples from his companions. Okay. So the point is, we have in ourselves to look for, strive for, and get inspired by something else. Okay, to look for, always look for something to improve, something to get. Okay, but we divert our efforts to these worldly things. Like I said, we cannot say no to them. Okay, we have got to a point we cannot say no to them. There are people who manipulate us by showing us these glittery items. We cannot say no to them. Okay, so now we need to divert our efforts for improvement, our efforts for getting a better life, getting a better sustenance, and being in a good company, towards the things which are for sure, which are truthfully being promised by Allah and Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So we need to divert. Okay, so when we divert, whatever you have in this world, whatever is coming your way, it will make you grateful, and whatever is not coming your way, you will be content with it as well. So this is what I said at the start. The true contentment comes when you can say no to things. Okay, and no to things doesn't mean that you go in a forest or in a desert and then you seclude yourself from this world. No. Okay, no to things which you do not require. Okay, and then you divert your efforts towards things that matter more. Okay, so obviously those are the things which are which are commanded by Allah and which are shown to us by His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And if you divert towards those things, then you will achieve a better level of contentment. Okay, so I hope this message was useful for me first of all, and then for all of you as well. So until next time, Assalamu alaikum.